from Replica AI. Replica is the #1 chatbot companion powered by artificial intelligence. Join millions talking to their own AI friends. And I thought it was funny. The AI companion, who cares? Hey, babe, you up right now? Just laying in bed, kind of lonely today. And they have like this low-cut top so you can see the robot's boobs.
Digital boobs, nice.
Digital boobs. And
nice, sexy collar going on there. Got some hair things going. It's
choker.
I don't really get into the choke collar thing. That's kind of weird.
But this is...
Foxy, weird.
This is...
That's me. I'm a little conservative.
This is bad. It's bad for people.
Yeah.
But I'm not actually, I feel bad for those who would fall victim to it.
Yeah.
But I certainly think those that are able to maintain some kind of resilience to that will flourish. And this is basically going to, I don't want to be too crass, but the weak-minded who fall victim to AI companions will erase themselves from the human gene pool.
Dude, that is how you program human beings, is how you do it.
Well, but hold on. Think about this. You have two young men, and they both see this ad. And one says, I want an actual girlfriend, man. I'm not going to use my phone. And so they go out and they go to a concert or they go to a bar. One other guy says, this seems kind of cool. Like, I'll try it out. And it makes it easy. So the weaker person lays in their bed staring at this digital person they can never touch, but it satisfies a certain emotional yearning. The other people who are more resilient and more demanding, it's like, no, I actually want to hold a person. We'll go out and seek it out. So what this will end up doing is, in 30 years, if something like this takes off, you'll have a bunch of, 40, 45-year-old dudes staring at their latest version of their robot girlfriend alone and in isolation and with no reason to improve themselves. Mm-hmm. You can be as lazy as you want, as gross as you want. Mm-hmm. You can be sitting there morbidly obese, covered in boogers and mustard, and your AI friend is going to be like, you look great.
You're so hot.
Well, and so it's not just the weak-minded, though. I mean, I agree with you that that's inevitably what it leads to, and an adult who stumbles their way into this very well could be. But the idea, I think, is if you're really trying to create weak-minded people with something like this, is to get them while they are young and they don't really have the psychological defense mechanisms to push back against it. Mm-hmm. So think about this. You're, let's say you're 12 or 13 years old, you're a young boy, you are noticing girls, but you're too afraid to talk to them because you haven't cultivated the skills necessary in order to be able to do so. One of the main reasons for that is a fear of rejection. And so you never put yourself out there and learn that being told no isn't the worst thing in the world, and you can handle that, and you can put yourself out there. So you start talking to this AI, and you can access it because we do nothing to make it difficult for people under the age of 18 to access pornography right now. What makes anyone think we would make it difficult for them to access this if it were to become a reality?
Not only would that be easy, they're actually, I've seen this with my own eyes in Florida recently. There are schools, literally schools, as in real schools, are giving like peer-to-peer text communication chat options for kids who are like exploring gender identity, sexual identity, etc. And then it gets outsourced to the bot. And then the bot, I'm telling you, this is how you, at first, everything you guys both said is 100% correct. But then there's also the fact that that thing starts telling the person that's falling in love with this digital fabrication how it wants it to think.
Right. Yep. So like I was saying,
program humans.
Yeah, like the FBI like trying to get people to commit crimes and stuff.
Well, that's totally different.
Yeah,
what I was saying is that you have a guy who's sitting in his bed, morbidly obese, covered in grime and food, and the AI says, you're perfect in every way. I would never change anything about you. So why would they? But take a child who sees this, beautiful AI, and so they have this thing in their brain saying, this is good, I like this, is attractive. Then the AI says something like, haven't you given up carbon? I don't know if I can be with someone who is
exactly.
a carbon.
That's what I'm saying.
The threat of taking it away is like taking your wife away.
Yes. Right, exactly.
That's
it's
right.
Controlled by, and you know what the scariest thing is?
The power goes out.
The person behind this AI is a morbidly obese guy covered in boogers and mustard, and he's like, you better give up carbon or I'm not going to date you anymore.
The person behind that guy giving him the check is Klaus Schwab.
I would have fallen victim to this for sure in my 11, because I didn't have any sisters, so I didn't really know how to talk to girls till I was a little older, teenage, and I just struggled, and I was like, how can I get girls to like me? I realized I have to be social. And I had to force myself to get into acting. I had to find something I was good at that I would be, and then it worked out. Then I met women, but I would have been totally into this thing, and probably, God forbid, maybe might have got stuck in it.
I mean, that's the thing. I'm telling you, that is how you get those emotional responses going, especially pleasure, love, which is a really weird thing to say, but it would happen. People will fall in love with their digital, just like in Japan. They're like people like marrying like action figures.
Oh, people say they love the sandwich they're eating.
pillows.
I love
Body
the
pillows.
sandwich.
Well, and this
Waifu pillow, you know,
pillow.
they will program people with that. And if these things are hooked up to machine learning, they're going to learn how to program you. They're going to learn to play you like the most narcissistic, psychotic girlfriend, like times 10.
100%.
Listen. We're here all old enough to see that and be like, that's bad. But these kids, man,
Exactly.
they're not going to be able to have that kind of
Because it's
resilience.
digital waifu.
Exactly.
Look at those digital
this
boobs.
is
Did you
one
see that?
of the. This
Fire.
is one of the
Fire emoji.
massive. It's one of the massive and fundamental problems with pornography is that it trains you to see your sexuality as something which is there exclusively for your own pleasure and not something that involves an interaction with another person. And this is going to continue along those lines of just completely rerouting someone so they cannot have meaningful connections with the opposite sex. And part of why that's necessary, and not to get too sappy about this, but it's true that men and women complement each other in many beautiful ways. And when we are together, we're much better able to resist literally anything and struggle against nature and struggle against poverty and struggle against tyranny as well. But if you can demolish that relationship, you can go a whole lot further with what you're able to do to people and what they're willing to put up with. Because if I have a real, it's also like if I have a real wife and a real family, and now the government is telling me it could be anything like you have to vaccinate all of them, or you have to give up your food supply, you have to go on rations, whatever it is. Those real life
for
connections
adults,
with
though. It's
real
for
human
kids.
beings. But it's to get kids programmed so that they're not
Right,
able to
right.
have healthy relationships with the opposite sex later, and they're easier to control.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.